Thank you. It's a great opportunity to be with you once again and to present the NFIU presentation. So without wasting much of our time, what we decided to do is, from NFIU's perspective, speaking to the theme of this year's conference, which is enhancing financial integrity to unlock Africa's cross-border potential, the strategic role of PPPs. So setting the context, we are all aware, just as the previous speakers have said, I can't reiterate it much, that at the continent, we are at a pivotal moment in our development journey, which we all know that cross-border payments, trade systems are rapidly evolving. And the African Continental Free Trade Area promises to transform the inter-African trade better. However, these fragmented systems and the regulatory silos, high cost and vulnerability of illicit financial flows continue to hamper the progress we hope to achieve. So to harness this potential, we must align our regulatory and compliance ecosystems through strong, risk-informed partnerships. Effective PPPs are essential to build a secure, efficient, and trusted cross-border financial infrastructure. Now, the imperative for financial integrity. Financial integrity is just not a compliance tick, 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 check boxes. It is an essential for attracting investment, enabling trade, and safeguarding our national security. Trust, built on transparency, collaboration, is the new currency for growth for all our financial systems. Therefore, public-private partnership in financial intelligence will definitely help us to deter IFFs, illicit financial flows, money laundering, terrorism financing, and proliferation of financing. Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, regulators, supervisors, and private sectors, we must collaborate to prevent the abuse and misuse of the financial system. Now, as a staff of a financial institution, we need to know the key role that the financial institution in all our countries are definitely playing in this particular issue, which is the theme of this year's conference. You will recall that Financial Action Task Force Recommendation 29 required that every country must have an FIU, which is a central agency responsible for receiving reports from financial institutions, analyzing this report, and disseminating intelligence to law enforcement agencies, corporate supervisors, and regulatory authorities. So FIUs like our own NFIU are linked between the private sector data and the public sector enforcement and oversight. We serve as the gatekeeper for financial intelligence. Through Egmont group of FIUs, we are connected to exchange intelligence securely and effectively. What is happening is that there are agencies and organizations, government agencies within the country are not making the best use of their FIUs. These are tools for financial intelligence exchange which are grossly underutilized. At FIUs, we are not just analysts of data. We are enablers of risk-informed policies and actions because we generate typologies and trends and patterns that we see from over a period of a fraud pattern that will help even the private sector owners, the regulators to come up with policies that will safeguard the financial system. Through Egmont Group, FIUs facilitate secure, cross-border intelligence exchange. So, I am a vice chair in the information working group of the Egmont Group, and at the Egmont Group, the IEWG is responsible for advancing cross-border collaboration, timely and trusted FIU to FIU information exchange. We are enhancing information exchange platforms, strengthening typology studies and sharing them, promoting PPP models globally. So, African intelligence FIUs are playing a rising role in shaping this agenda. We are very key, and that is why we look up to our own competent authorities within our own jurisdictions to leverage on the power of what FIU can do to help mitigate the challenges we are facing with our financial systems. The NFIU, as you said, just as I say with other FIUs, we are very prominent in the hierarchy of Egmont Group. Like NFIU for the past 3 years has been receiving certificate of recognition and appreciation from the Egmont Group. The vice chair is one of my colleagues. I mean with the Information Exchange Working Group, and we have our own staff working with the Secretariat, with the Egmont Secure Web Administrator. The NFIU, as you said, we need to know that just as other countries have their own FIUs, is a central agency responsible for receiving report from reporting entities, and you can see various types of reporting entities from banks to designated non-financial institutions and professions. We generate intelligence, we disseminate some of the strategic ones to the supervisory authorities. If it is tactical and operational intelligence, we send it to the law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies. So we are responsible for coordinating activities of AML-CFT in Nigeria. By the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2022, NFIU is the secretariat of the Interministerial Committee, which is the national apex body responsible for AML-CFT in Nigeria, headed by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Minister of Interior, and Minister of Finance. So cross-border risk and opportunities. We are all aware, Africa becomes more connected. We must address shared risks, from trade-based financial crimes to the misuse of digital assets and platform. But we must also seize this opportunity that comes with digital currencies, payment platforms, e-commerce, youth-driven technology innovation, just like previous speakers have said. We have in Africa, we have a youth population that are very agile, that are very resilient in this. So, public partnerships help us proactively manage these dual dynamics, because there is an opportunity which we must grab, but we must also make sure that the threats that come with the opportunity are addressed. So you can see the common risk that we have seen is trade-based financial crime and smuggling. By trade-based, we have seen how people use trade to launder money, to finance terrorism, to also commit a lot of other fraudulent activities. We have also seen a high increase of cyber-enabled financial crimes. The opportunity here is the AFCFTA, driven regional integration is an opportunity. Digital financial services and e-commerce is an opportunity. And also growing fintech and Regtech ecosystem within the continent is an opportunity. How do we bridge the gaps that we expect in private partnership in financial intelligence? Traditionally, we all know that public institutions like FIU, central bank, law enforcement agencies have always operated in silos, sometimes reactive and often constrained by access to timely data, and most especially quality one. Meanwhile, on the other side, the private sector actors like banks, fintechs, telecoms, virtual asset providers poses a vast database and cutting-edge technology. But The challenge is that they are already usually unsure on how to contribute to national security and IT financial crime framework beyond basic reporting. So, for us to bridge this disconnect, which is a must, therefore, the idea of public-private partnership in financial intelligence is not just about cooperation, it's about building a shared ecosystem and trust and capability, ecosystem of trust and capability. So at the FIU, we are not taking it as a theory. We have reached out, and that is the model we are doing. You can see even this week, we have sent letters to FinTech, to CBAN, and a lot of stakeholders on different PPPs. We have had a partnership with London Exchange Group on PPPs we had in October last year. And also, even with Regtech, we did have a partnership last year. We had a very robust meeting, and we have strategized. So at the FIU, we are looking out to see how do we reach out, because there is a lot of opportunities and that we can do together, working together. We have seen how this has really helped us in what we do. Now, the Regtech opportunity. Regulatory technology is Africa's opportunity to leapfrog the legacy financial system and build an agile, intelligence-led compliance framework. The cost of compliance is rising. Yes, we all understand. But the cost of non-compliance in the form of illicit financial flows, regulatory sanctions, and reputational damage is far higher than the cost you pay in complying. Regtech offers a powerful path forward. It will surely help both public and private sector actors to dictate, prevent, and respond to financial crimes with speed, scale, and precision. Because the reality is that the bad guys are moving with the speed of light. But we that are supposed to provide the response, we are moving with snail speed. So that is the challenge we have here. Therefore, we must embrace PPP and regulatory technology. For African economics, Regtech is not just a matter of compliance efficiency. It's the pathway to lower the cost of financial intermediation, safer cross-border transactions, stronger investor confidence. So, what are the key pillars? We are talking about having a real-time risk monitoring. We should also think of enhanced due diligence, KYC, and know your customer business, identity verification. It's high time we have a shared facility. There is a project we started with Central Bank and the financial institutions about a shared KYC facility, which for now has been on hold. That is something that we need to work on to make sure that we have, because disparate data that existed is also causing challenges. Then there is also need for blockchain and digital asset analytics. There is also private preserving data sharing. This is very key because the fraud continues to trend because people don't share data. Everybody keeps things to themselves. That is why a fraudster can develop something to hit one bank and will succeed in hitting about 20 banks at the same time and successively because we don't share data. Now, regulatory reporting automation, which is something that is key to Regtech, and compliance inclusion of micro and small, medium-scale companies or fintechs. So, call to action. All of us have our own stake. For government, we should realize that government institutions must institutionalize PPTs, not just in policy, but in practice. It is a good thing to, in Nigeria, we are very good at having policies, but practice is the challenge. The private sector must also step up, not only to comply by just making sure you are fulfilling the righteousness, but to co-develop the tools that protect our systems. Our regional bodies must also harmonize regulatory approaches to enable seamless cooperation across borders. This is a call for collective leadership from everybody. So for governments, there is need to institutionalize PPP framework for AML, CFT, and IFF control. And for private sector, there is need to embrace responsible innovation. Why we always add the responsible, innovation is something that we all like, but the innovation that will be disruptive is what is challenging. So, and there's also need to co-develop compliance technology. For regional bodies that are within our continent, there is need to harmonize standards and enhance cross-border regulatory cooperation. Because this is what they do. Like now, for instance, if you see the global crypto adoption index, Nigeria is number 2. But I can tell you as a technology person, most of those transactions are not done by Nigerians. Because of the loopholes in our own system, people use Nigeria as a launch pad. Somebody can be sitting as far back as El Salvador. Last month, I was in El Salvador for a Digital Access Summit. That's what I told them. I said we see footprint of people from Central and North America hitting Nigeria because they are using Nigeria as a conduit. So that is why there is need for us to standardize regulation. And looking ahead, Africa must transition from reactive approaches to proactive, intelligence-driven ecosystem to become a global leader in trusted trade, digital financing, and investment. PPPs are not optional. It's a must. They are foundational to secure our cross-border growth. With share intelligence, share technology, and share responsibility, Africa can unlock unprecedented opportunities. And lastly, in conclusion, I want to reaffirm the commitment of Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit to working with all stakeholders, that is the regulators, reporting entities, innovators, and development partners, to deepen collaboration, emerging technologies, and public-private synergy. As we innovate, we must anchor our actions on integrity, inclusion, and collaboration. Inclusion, innovation, and integrity must be together. Thank you.